Ava had thought she had seen the worst of heartbreak. She thought nothing could shatter her more than watching Ethan, the boy she had loved since she was 17, choose her sister Sophia instead. But she was wrong. Now, as she stood at the edge of her family's sprawling garden during her parents' anniversary dinner, watching Ethan and Sophia laugh together across the patio lights, she felt something deeper than heartbreak. It was betrayal. A betrayal that seemed to ripple through her bones like ice water. Her mother's words from earlier that evening rang in her ears. "Ava, darling, sometimes love isn't about passion. It's about stability. Sophia is stronger in that sense. Ethan made the right choice." The words had been spoken softly, almost like consolation, but to Ava they felt like daggers. Her own parents, her own family, the people who were supposed to protect her, rooting for her happiness, had quietly decided she wasn't enough. She gripped the stem of her wine glass tighter, blinking back the tears that threatened. Every smile across the patio, every laugh between Ethan and Sophia, felt orchestrated now, like she was watching a performance. Something was wrong. Something had always been wrong. And she was about to uncover just how deep those wrongs went. Later that night, Sophia cornered Ava in the kitchen as everyone else drifted toward the fire pit outside. "Still staring?" Sophia teased, smirking as she adjusted the diamond necklace around her throat. A gift from Ethan, no doubt. Ava ignored her, setting her glass in the sink. "What do you want, Sophia?" Sophia leaned against the counter, her expression smug but her tone almost conspiratorial. "You know, it's funny how things turned out. Ethan and I were inevitable, don't you think?" Ava stiffened. "No, nothing about this was inevitable. You pushed yourself between us." Sophia's smirk widened. She twirled a strand of hair, her eyes glinting. "Oh, come on, Ava. Don't be so naive. Do you really think Ethan just woke up one day and decided he didn't trust you? People need a little nudge sometimes." A chill ran down Ava's spine. "What are you saying?" Sophia shrugged. "I didn't lie. I just showed him things. Let him believe you weren't as perfect as he thought. He was so easy to manipulate." The words landed like a physical blow. Ava's breath caught. Her stomach twisted. "You," Ava's voice cracked. "You ruined everything. You stole him." Sophia's eyes softened in mock pity. "Please don't make yourself the victim. Ethan saw the truth. And now, he's mine. You can either live with that, or keep chasing shadows." She turned and walked out, leaving Ava gripping the counter so hard her knuckles whitened. For the first time, Ava saw her sister clearly, not as the flawless, charming Sophia everyone adored, but as someone dangerous. Someone willing to scheme, to manipulate, to destroy. And suddenly, Ava knew her story with Ethan wasn't just heartbreak. It was sabotage. Ethan sat on the edge of his bed that night, staring at the engagement ring on Sophia's finger as she slept beside him. He should have been happy. On paper, everything was perfect. Sophia was beautiful, witty, adored by his family and hers. She fit neatly into his world. But perfection had never felt this hollow. He ran his hand over his face, remembering Ava's laugh. The way she used to sneak him notes in class. The way she looked at him like he wasn't just another boy from a wealthy family but someone who mattered. And the way her face broke the night he chose Sophia. He swallowed hard, guilt gnawing at his chest. He had tried to push the thought away for months, convincing himself Sophia was the safer choice. But now, Sophia stirred beside him, curling closer, her hand resting protectively over her stomach. Ethan froze. She was late. And though she hadn't said it out loud yet, he knew. She was pregnant. And suddenly the invisible chains around him tightened. There was no turning back now. 2 weeks later, Ava found herself at a cafe downtown, sketchbook open but untouched. She couldn't draw, couldn't think. Her mind was a storm of Sophia's words. People need a little nudge sometimes. The betrayal festered, poisoning her every thought. Is this seat taken? The voice pulled her back. She looked up into warm brown eyes and a gentle smile. The man standing there looked slightly out of place in the trendy cafe, sharp suit, clean cut, but with a kindness that softened the edges of his formality. "No," Ava said, shaking her head. He slid into the seat across from her, setting down his coffee. "Daniel Hayes," he introduced, offering his hand. She hesitated before shaking it. "Ava." There was something disarming about him. Unlike Ethan, who had always seemed larger than life, Daniel's presence was steady, grounding. They talked. And for the first time in months, Ava laughed. She didn't know yet that Daniel's arrival wasn't chance. That his path had been quietly orchestrated, tied to threads of Ethan's powerful family business. But in that moment she let herself believe that maybe the universe had finally sent her someone who saw her. It was during a quiet Sunday dinner when Ava's world tilted again. Her father put down his fork and sighed. "Ava, you need to let this go. Ethan and Sophia are settled now. It's better this way." Ava looked up sharply. "Better? For who?" Her mother exchanged a look with him before speaking softly. "We knew Ethan's affection was shifting towards Sophia long before you did. We didn't want to hurt you, but it was clear. Sophia was the better choice." Ava's fork clattered against her plate. Her chest tightened. "You knew," she whispered. "And you didn't say anything? You just let me walk into heartbreak." Her mother reached for her hand, but Ava pulled away, tears stinging her eyes. "We thought it was best," her father said firmly. "Sophia is more capable of handling that world." Ava's voice broke. "So I was never good enough. Not for him. Not even for you." The silence that followed was heavier than any scream. For Ava, it was the final fracture. She was alone. Utterly, devastatingly alone. As weeks turned into months, Ava's bond with Daniel grew. He was kind, attentive, a balm to her wounds. He showed up when no one else did, at her gallery opening, at late-night calls when she couldn't sleep. But cracks began to show. One night, while tidying his jacket, Ava found a business card tucked into the pocket. Her stomach dropped. The logo was unmistakable. Ethan's family's company. When she asked, Daniel brushed it off. "It's nothing, Ava. I had a short consultancy with him years ago. No big deal." But his eyes flickered. A hesitation. And Ava, burned too many times before, felt the stirrings of suspicion. By the time fall arrived, Sophia's perfect facade had begun to unravel. The pregnancy wasn't the fairy tale she had imagined. Ethan was distant, his regret simmering beneath the surface. The glamorous life she envisioned was turning into suffocating silence. One evening, Ava heard a knock at her door. When she opened it, her breath caught. Sophia stood there, makeup smudged, a bruise blossoming across her cheek. Her eyes were wide, terrified. "Ava," her voice cracked. "He's not who you think he is. Daniel isn't safe." And just like that, Ava's fragile new world shattered all over again. Ava stared at Sophia in disbelief, her mind spinning. Her sister, bruised and trembling, clutching the doorway like she might collapse. "What are you talking about?" Ava demanded, her voice sharp with fear. Sophia stepped inside, closing the door behind her. Her hand shook. "Daniel, he's not what you think. He's connected to Ethan's family, to things you don't know. Dangerous things." Ava's chest tightened. "Stop playing games, Sophia. You've already ruined enough. Why should I believe anything you say?" Sophia's eyes glistened with unshed tears. "Because I tried to play the game too. And now I'm trapped. Ethan isn't happy with me. He never was. And the people pulling strings, they won't let him leave me. Daniel was never just some random man who wandered into your life. He was pushed there. By them." The room seemed to tilt. Ava felt the ground sliding beneath her feet. "Why?" Ava whispered. Sophia lowered her gaze. "To keep you out. To control the narrative. To make sure Ethan and I looked untouchable. But I'm telling you, Ava, I've seen what they're capable of. And Daniel," her voice broke, "Daniel isn't safe for you." Meanwhile, Ethan sat in his study, staring at the whiskey in his glass. Sophia's words over the past few weeks echoed like poison in his mind. "You're mine now. You can't leave. Not with the baby." The baby. The word alone tightened the chains around him. He should have felt joy. Instead, he felt suffocated. Memories of Ava haunted him. The way her eyes lit when she painted, the way her voice softened when she said his name. He had thrown it away. Worse, he had let himself be manipulated into believing she wasn't worthy of his trust. Now, as Sophia drifted through the house, sharp-tongued and restless, Ethan saw the cracks. And with every crack, his regret deepened. But regret couldn't undo a vow. And regret couldn't free him from a child on the way. He poured another drink. Ava couldn't sleep that night. Sophia's warning gnawed at her. Daniel had been nothing but kind, nothing but good. But now, every smile, every gesture, every coincidence felt suspect. The next morning she decided to dig. She contacted an old friend who worked in corporate law, asking about Daniel Hayes. By evening the friend called back. "Ava, you need to be careful," her friend whispered. "Daniel isn't who he says he is. He's tied directly to contracts under Ethan's father's company. Not just old ones, current ones. He's been on their payroll for months." Ava's heart dropped. Everything Sophia said was true. Sophia's visits to Ava became more frequent. At first Ava thought it was guilt, but it became clear Sophia was unraveling. Her perfect facade crumbled with every word. She confessed how she whispered lies into Ethan's ear, staged chance encounters to discredit Ava, planted doubts that festered. But none of it had brought her peace. Instead, she was trapped in a loveless engagement, carrying a child that bound Ethan to her. "I thought I won," Sophia whispered one night, tears streaking her face. "But what's victory if he still looks at you like you're the one he lost?" Ava didn't know whether to hate her or pity her. Ava finally confronted Daniel. They met at the cafe where they'd first crossed paths. Her voice was steady, but her hands shook beneath the table. "Tell me the truth. How long have you been working with Ethan's family?" Daniel's smile faltered. For the first time, the warmth in his eyes dimmed. "Ava, listen." "No," she snapped. "Don't lie to me. Not you too." He sighed, leaning back. "It's not what you think. Yes, I was asked to get close to you. Ethan's father wanted you occupied, away from stirring trouble. But somewhere along the way it stopped being about them. It became about you." Ava's breath caught. "I care about you, Ava," Daniel said softly. "More than I ever expected. But you have to understand, there are forces at play you can't fight. Walking away isn't simple." Her heart pounded. "So you're admitting it? You were planted in my life." Daniel's silence was answer enough. The revelation tore Ava apart. Everyone she had loved, everyone she had trusted, had betrayed her in some way. Ethan, Sophia, her parents, Daniel. She felt like she was drowning in lies. The walls of her world closed in, leaving her gasping for air. But beneath the pain, a spark flickered. They wanted her broken, silenced, out of the way. She wouldn't give them that satisfaction. Ethan finally reached his breaking point. One night, Sophia accused him of still being in love with Ava. He didn't deny it. "Don't you dare say her name." Sophia screamed, throwing a glass against the wall. Ethan stood there, silent, the truth heavy in his chest. He didn't love Sophia. He never truly had. But the pregnancy bound him. His family's expectations bound him. His own mistakes bound him. For the first time, Ethan wondered if there was a way out, or if he was doomed to live in the shadow of the choice he had made. Ava began piecing together the puzzle. She gathered proof of Daniel's ties to the family business. She documented Sophia's manipulations, her parents' silent betrayal. She wouldn't confront them head-on, not yet. But she would be ready. The Ava who once wept quietly in the corner was gone. In her place was someone sharper, stronger. Someone who had nothing left to lose. Despite everything, Daniel didn't disappear. He showed up at Ava's gallery late one night when the world was quiet. "I meant what I said," he told her, voice low. "I care about you. I can protect you from them. But you have to trust me." Ava's chest ached. Part of her wanted to believe him. Part of her wanted to run. "Trust?" she whispered. "That's all anyone has ever asked of me. And every time I gave it, they used it to break me." Daniel reached for her hand, but she pulled away. Her choice wasn't clear yet. But one thing was, she wouldn't be controlled again. Sophia's life spiraled. Her lies caught up with her, her charm wore thin, and Ethan grew colder by the day. One evening, Ava found her sister outside the family estate, sobbing. "I thought having his baby would make him love me," Sophia confessed, her voice shaking. "But it doesn't matter. He looks at me and I know. I'll never be you." Ava's heart twisted. For all the betrayal, all the pain, Sophia was still her sister. Broken. Desperate. And Ava couldn't decide whether to hold her close, or finally let her fall. Ava had always believed that, at the very least, her parents would be her safe place. But when she confronted them, their silence told her everything. "You knew," Ava whispered, her hands trembling as she faced them in the dim light of their living room. Her mother shifted uncomfortably. "Ava, darling, we only wanted what was best for you." Sophia, she seemed the stronger choice. More stable. Ethan's parents agreed. "You let them decide my life?" Ava cut in, her voice cracking. "You let them ruin me while you sat back and said nothing?" Her father's gaze fell to the floor. "We thought Sophia would keep the family's reputation intact. You were always more unpredictable." A hollow laugh escaped Ava's lips. "So you traded me for your reputation." She turned on her heel, tears blinding her vision. Whatever bond she thought she had with her parents snapped that night. They had chosen Sophia. Always Sophia. But Ava swore it would be the last time anyone made choices for her. Daniel didn't deny his connection to Ethan's family, but he began to reveal just how deep it went. "They wanted me to keep you quiet, Ava? To distract you. But what they don't know is I've been keeping things on them. Records, deals. Corruption. Ethan's father isn't just a businessman, he's been laundering money, coercing contracts, silencing threats. He thinks he owns everyone. Ava narrowed her eyes. And you? Where do you stand? With you, Daniel said firmly. If you'll let me prove it. Her heart warred with her head. Daniel's sincerity felt real, but hadn't she heard that before? From Ethan, from Sophia, from her parents? Still, the information he carried was a weapon. And Ava knew she'd need every weapon to bring down the people who had tried to destroy her. Ethan's life had become unbearable. The more Sophia clung to him, the more he suffocated. The more he remembered Ava, the more he despised himself. Late one night, he drove aimlessly through the city, ending up outside Ava's gallery. Lights burned inside. He saw her through the glass, bent over a canvas, her brush moving with fierce determination. He longed to walk in, to apologize, to beg. But he stayed frozen, watching the life he had lost because of lies. Lies he had chosen to believe. For the first time, Ethan admitted it to himself. He didn't just regret. He loved her still. And it was too late. Sophia's pregnancy became the one thing holding her world together. She wielded it like a shield, a chain, and a crown all at once. But her facade finally cracked when she collapsed one afternoon, rushing to the hospital. The doctors reassured her that the baby was fine, but the scare broke her. For hours she lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. The lies, the manipulation, the emptiness of Ethan's cold touch. It was all for nothing. And when Ethan didn't come to the hospital immediately, choosing instead to stay at the office, Sophia realized the terrifying truth. She might lose everything. Ava began to weave the threads together. With Daniel's files, she uncovered a massive scheme linking Ethan's father to bribery and fraud. With Sophia's confessions, she documented the manipulations that had torn her engagement apart. With her parents' silence, she built a narrative of betrayal that no one could deny. This wasn't just about heartbreak anymore. It was about power. And Ava refused to be powerless again. She prepared her plan carefully. Evidence organized. Allies secured. Timing perfect. When the strike came, it would shatter the illusion of every person who had tried to silence her. Word began to spread. Rumors. Whispers. Ethan noticed the unease in his father's circle, the sudden quiet conversations, the guarded looks. Sophia grew paranoid, certain Ava was plotting something. Daniel became both Ava's shield and her risk, because while he stood by her, his ties meant she couldn't fully trust him. The air itself seemed heavy, like the world holding its breath before a storm. And Ava stood at the center, no longer a victim, but the storm's eye. It happened at a charity gala. Ironically, the same kind of event where Ethan and Ava had once been inseparable. But this night was different. Ava arrived not as the discarded fiancé, but as the woman holding evidence that could dismantle an empire. As cameras flashed and guests mingled, Ava's voice rang out, clear and sharp. She presented documents, recordings, undeniable proof of corruption tied to Ethan's father. The room erupted in chaos. Sophia went pale. Ethan's father blustered, denied, threatened, but it was too late. The truth was out. Ethan stood frozen, torn between loyalty to his blood and the undeniable power of Ava's justice. For the first time, Ava felt untouchable. After the gala, Daniel found Ava alone on the balcony. "You did it," he whispered, pride shining in his eyes. "You destroyed them." But Ava turned, her gaze heavy. "This isn't over. You're still part of them, Daniel. No matter what you say." He stepped closer. "I don't care about them. I care about you. Tell me you believe me." Her lips parted, but before she could answer, a sharp knock echoed behind them. Sophia. Bruised. Trembling. Her voice breaking. "Ava, he's not who you think he is. Daniel isn't safe." The words sliced through the air like a blade. Daniel froze, his jaw tightening. Ava's heart thundered. Sophia staggered forward. "I tried to stop it. I thought I could control it. But Daniel, he's deeper in this than you know. If you trust him, you'll lose everything." Daniel's voice was sharp, desperate. "She's lying. She's trying to pull us apart again. Don't let her win, Ava." Ava's world spun. Two voices. Two truths. Two betrayals. But this time, she wasn't the naive woman caught in the middle. She was stronger. And she would decide her own ending. Days later, the storm settled. Ethan's father was indicted. The empire cracked. Sophia retreated, her lies finally consuming her. Ethan walked away from the wreckage, hollow but free. And Ava? She chose herself. For once, it wasn't about Ethan or Daniel or Sophia or her parents. It was about her own freedom, her own art, her own strength. Daniel remained in her orbit, fighting for her trust. Whether she'd let him back in, only time would tell. But Ava no longer waited for love to validate her. She had built her own power. And in the silence of her gallery, brush in hand, she smiled. For the first time, she wasn't painting her pain. She was painting her future.